So I don't know about you, but y'all, I'm struggling to keep up with Louis Vuitton releases. They are literally dropping new collections every other day, and guys, it's just too much. No one has the time, mental capacity, let alone budget to keep up with this new form of fast luxury fashion. Like, this to me is so impractical that I'm like past the point of FOMO when it comes to LV, because I'm just kind of like, man, I'll just catch the next release next week. Like, all of these drops just make these pieces feel more common and less special, you know, which I know is counterintuitive, but that's how I feel about it. Now, between the time I'm filming this and to when this video will actually post, I mean, heck, Louis Vuitton would have probably dropped new items between now and then, and some of the items mentioned here in this video may already be out of production, you know? And just the fact that Louis Vuitton consistently has close to, over 1,000 bag styles available online, if you count both the men's and the women's, I mean, that's just information overload for me. Like, this breadth of option, again, it's counterintuitive. I know it's a strategic choice by the company to offer that many bag styles. It's probably a way for consumers to feel unique while still purchasing a clearly identifiable product. It kind of has had the opposite effect on me, just based on how I personally make decisions, which I know this is a side story, but it is relevant. Like, if my husband and I were visiting somewhere new, let's just say a mall that we've never been to, and we need to find a place to eat, like, my husband would simply just look around and pick the closest thing he sees. Or if we happen to be near a directory, he'd look down the list and pick the first thing that sounds or looks good to him. Not me. I will study the whole directory. I will look up reviews, the menu, the pricing, etc. At which point, poor hubby would have probably already passed out from hunger. So you can imagine that for someone like me, having to scroll through 1,000+ bags, it's no longer fun. It's a chore. So in this video, I thought it would be fun to share with you some of my biggest surprise hits and misses so far this year. So we're now at the end of summer, maybe beginning of fall. And I also want to share with you my biggest Louis Vuitton new release disappointment, I think ever, of all time. So if you are interested, please stick around. Oh, and if you are new, welcome to A Briefcase of Luxury, where we love to chat about all things related to life, learning, and luxury. And if you are returning, then welcome back. As always, I'm still on this journey of mastering my luxury consumption habits in a mindful manner. And these are just some new bags released by Louis Vuitton this year that have caught my eye, either love at first sight or bags that have just slowly grown on me. And let's just chat about them, whether or not the feelings have changed, whether or not these bags are still ones that I would consider adding to my collection in the near future. Now, the first three, I figured I'd just group them together because these are all reimagined pieces of their iconic styles. So here we're talking about the Neverfull BB, the Speedy Bandolier 20, and the Alma in the Nano and the BB sizes. So in essence, we have three classic Louis Vuitton designs that have been cutesified and shrunk down. And I do have mixed feelings about the mini bag trend, whether it really is a trend or just a reflection of how our lifestyle has changed and is therefore here to stay. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to find the bag size and style that works for you, right? I'm someone who enjoys styling an oversized bag and packing everything, including the kitchen sink. But at the same time, there are days and situations where I am okay being a bare minimum kind of person where I don't need an oversized bag and where I'm okay just having my phone, wallet, and keys. So I really do enjoy both ends of the spectrum. And when it comes to these mini versions of iconic bags, I'm not gonna lie, color me intrigued. Let's start with the Alma BB. So the one that I have been most taken with is the one that was released late summer, I believe, as part of their Mono Panam collection. I think it's the Mono Panam capsule collection. So first off, I think it's a really cute collection. I really do. Now, would I purchase anything from it? Absolutely not. I just don't see this aging gracefully in terms of the style and the design of it, as well as the actual wear and tear of the design itself. Like the glossy print of the street sign, I think it's really cute. Like, I don't know what this Lexington pouch is about, but I think it's stinking cute. Now, back to the Alma. Imagine with me for a second that it was just the monogram canvas in that light beige color. Forget the stripes, forget the plaque. I mean, like that, I think I would most definitely be able to get behind this. It's like a softer, more neutral version of the classic monogram. Now, the other new Alma BBs are fine too, but again, I think of all of the Alma BBs that have recently been released this year, this one has stood out to me the most. But again, I just wish it didn't have all that extra hoopla. Now, if I'm not wrong, the Nano Alma is a newer release and they have it in several really fun colors in the epi leather. But in my opinion, like, it's cute, but there's really nothing so special that sets it apart from the other Almas. It's literally the same bag, shrunk down by a few more inches. So I feel like this would be an easy pass, especially if you have other Almas in other sizes in your collection. Now, I currently don't have any Almas, but if I were to add something from the Alma collection, it would be the more practical BB size. And if I were to choose one of the epi leather versions, it would probably be the gold honey. I think it's a lovely color. However, I'm just not in love with the guitar strap they chose for this one. I think the black accent is just a tad bit too strong. I wish it either had a regular leather strap like on the Nanos, or one of the guitar straps that's more like the new Speedies where the contrast isn't so in your face. Now let's talk the Neverfull. I feel like this one has brought about the highest variance of mixed emotions on social media. I personally love it. I think it's one of my favorite shrunken bags just because it's so wildly different from its original predecessor. Unlike the Alma or the Speedy where they are a very close variation, this almost looks comical for being a Neverfull, and I think that's why I like it so much. It's not meant to be a replacement or a smaller version of the Neverfull. I think if that's the attitude you have, it's definitely not going to make sense. Like, the aesthetics are completely different. The dimensions are all off, so in my mind, this is like the most reimagined piece, and I know there are those who would disagree with whether or not this is a good reimagination of the Neverfull, so just take away the expectation of this being a baby sister to the Neverfull. I think partly why I like it so much is because the Neverfull BB looks like Louis Vuitton's attempt at copying Longchamp and their Le Pliage crossbody, so that's a much more closer comparison in my opinion, and I'm not gonna lie, from that perspective, this is my favorite shrunken down Louis Vuitton classic bag because I see this as a super practical crossbody bag, just like the Longchamp ones. And again, I know the coin pouches are another thing. You either love them or hate them. I'm pretty sure from a pricing standpoint, it's another cost-effective way to jack up the price. I personally don't mind them on more casual bags like these. I'm just hoping the coin pouch can actually fit like a bus or a train pass. Now, would I buy this? The thing is, I would, but I wouldn't pick one up right now. I would rather wait to see how far they want to milk this and what other variations they will release in the future. Not that I have anything against the monogram version, but I wouldn't be surprised if they release like a damier version, a leather empreinte version, seasonal designs. If you are someone who takes issue with the amount of vachetta leather this has, again, wait a bit to see what other variations are released, because I guarantee you they're gonna wanna milk this. But this is one that has most definitely caught my eye, and I will be patiently waiting to see what else they come up with. So speaking of Speedies, now I know the Speedy 20 is also slightly newer and now available in several styles, and I'm honestly not opposed to the original monogram or damier canvas prints, even with the guitar strap. I know some people take issue with Louis Vuitton's recent obsession with guitar straps. I'm guessing that's just a way to manage costs. I'm assuming it's a lot more cost effective to manufacture a textile-based guitar strap than, say, a full leather strap. But if I were to pick one of the newer Speedies, I think I'd go with something a little more special, like the nanogram version in black. I love the fun play on the monogram, and I especially like the leather and chain detailing on the strap. The only issue is that it is $1,000 more than the canvas versions, and I can't say for sure I objectively see it being worth $1,000 more. But if you're someone like me who's always appreciated the Speedy, but have never prioritized purchasing one, and you are someone who enjoys mini bags, not just as a trend, then I think one of these Speedy 20 options is definitely worth taking a second look. Now the next one I'm just going to touch on really quickly. Like, I'm always looking to see what new colors they release for the Pochette Matisse. I guess I'm still holding out for this to be released in like a beautiful cognac color like they did for one of the Speedies maybe. I think it was earlier this year, but no luck yet. They did, however, release this in a wine burgundy. It's like a reddish brown color, maybe with a little bit of purple. I really can't tell. So in my opinion, it's number one, trying to be too many different colors at the same time. And number two, it's, how do I put this delicately? It's a very matronly, stately color, which is quite out of the blue for Louis Vuitton compared to what they've been doing with their other releases. I almost wish they had gone the route of the Almas and released the Pochette Matisse in a bunch of really fun pastel colors like lilac or turquoise or yellow. I think that would be quite a fresh new look for the pochette Matisse instead of going even more old school with this burgundy color. This other one I'm also just gonna touch on because I just don't get it, and maybe y'all can enlighten me. It's called the new square bag, and like its name implies, it's literally a box. It's a cube, if you will, and I just don't get it. Like, I love the pastel colorway. I think it's so girly, it's so pretty, and I know this colorway does come in other designs too, but this bag like makes no sense to me. So if you have one of these, let me know what drew you into that bag and how it's working out for you. Okay, up next, this bag isn't new, it's been around for a while, and it's the Multi-Pochette accessoire. And I wanted to talk about this now because this is an example of a very, very slow burn for me. Like, when this first came out, I thought it was ridiculous. It's literally a bunch of pouches strung together with even more bits and bobs hanging off of it, like an extra coin pouch, an extra chain. It just feels like a Frankenstein, like bottom of the barrel type project where they were just scrounging for leftover pieces and parts to package together and sell. But this is a perfect example of one of those bags that you may hate at first, and then over time, the more you see people using it and you get a glimpse of how it works in someone else's life, the more you're like, it's really not so bad. And now I'm like, yes, look at all the different options you have. Like, this bag is fantastic. From a practical standpoint, I can definitely see how this could be a good travel bag. You know, you have a day bag, you have an evening bag, you can wear it all together, you can wear it piece by piece. Now, if I ever pick one of these up though, it would definitely be pre-loved. You can find so many pre-loved in excellent condition. So this definitely was a trendy bag back then, and you don't really see it so much anymore, which really isn't a bad thing for someone like me since I don't consider myself a trendy person to begin with. Now, the next two bags I'll talk about together because they are from the same family, and that is the Morel bag and the Merellini bag, both in epi leather. Not that I need another small shoulder bag, but this is the style of bag I do find myself gravitating towards lately. I mean, I still enjoy a good top handle crossbody, but a simple shoulder bag like this, I'd say is my second favorite bag style. I think the cutout of the little LV is a really nice touch, and I'm telling you, I seem to have a little obsession with detachable card holders, which is probably why I'm also drawn to like the Neverfull BB and the Multi-Pochette accessoire. I think this though is a much more elegant take on just like the regular detachable strap pouch on some of the other bags I showed earlier, even though I think the Merellini comes with both the detachable card holder and a coin pouch as well, but the coin pouch is in like a little heart shape. So this to me is like the Multi-Pochette's grown-up sister. Actually, no, I take that back. The Multi-Pochette in the empreinte leather is more like the grown-up sister because they're at least in the same family of design, except the strap is a little bit more elegant. You don't have that extra strap pouch. So maybe in this case, this would make the Morel bag like the grown-up older cousin, like the perfect sophisticated relative who seems to have her life put together. Now, I saved the best / worst for last. I mentioned this in a previous video about how I fell in love with this design from the Fall Winter Men's 2023 runway collection, and I am both happy and sad to announce that they did actually release it in stores. It is called the Nebula collection. So yeah, happy they actually did release several bags in this style, mainly in several sizes of the keep-all and a mini soft trunk, and yet so sad that up close, it looked nothing like what I had hyped it up to be in my head. Obviously, from the runway, it's really hard to get a good close-up look at the bag, like under the lights and like in movement. I thought the bag was stunning. I thought it was stunning. I couldn't figure out how they got it to have that like holographic gradient look, but I was obsessed. So I was patiently waiting to see if they were ever going to release these. And just when I had given up hope, lo and behold, you can now find them online and in stores. I was shifting money around because I had mentioned that I would have dropped everything to get this in a smaller bag. And yes, they released it in a small keep-all 25, so I was ecstatic. Now, I haven't had a chance to look at them in person, but you best believe that I was all over the website to get a close-up look at the bag. However, it really didn't take that long for the excitement to fade, because when you zoom in on the bag, like the halo effect up close, like, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but it is the tackiest thing I've ever seen. Like, I was honestly shocked by how underwhelmed, like, actually, no, not even underwhelmed. I was shocked at how bad it looked up close. Like, I tried to talk myself into it. I looked at some of the different mod shots to see how the effect looks from a distance. And I guess from a design perspective, I should have known that to achieve that type of holographic gradient effect from a distance, they probably had to do like a metallic printed overlay on top of the canvas. And they had to do like the little dots to create the fade, which I honestly don't know how well that's going to wear over time because it looks like it could just peel right off the canvas. I mean, I guess I'm happy I saved myself that $3,000 and plus because I just can't justify it. I've never been that excited about a new release bag from Louis Vuitton. I thought it would be the perfect statement bag to own, so this was honestly pretty heartbreaking for me, but hey, I guess I saved myself $3,000. And like I said, by the time this video posts, I don't know what else would have been released, but I'd be curious to know if any of you have any of these bags and how they're working out for you, especially from the Nebula men's collection or the Mono Panam collection. Like those are two that I think are a little bit more unique that I have been keeping my eye on. Again, I'd love to just know your experiences if you do have those bags. Thank you again so much for watching. And if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you next time.